Hello and welcome to the GT House podcast. And today with me, I have Mr. KT.
Again.
KT-san, yes. We have KT-san with me. And so, KT-san, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about gloves because that's my favorite topic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is going to be fun then.
Yes, it will.
Let's dig into it. So, KT-san, how many pairs of gloves do you own?
One, two, three. Last count was five. Yeah,
Wow. Okay, 5 gloves.
five pair of gloves.
Wow. And this is I'm sure this is going to be different kind of gloves for different kind of riding.
Yeah, different gloves
seasons.
collected over years. Some have, some are not really in use. They are more, from a sentimental point of view. I just don't want to throw them.
You don't want to get rid of them. I know. I
But out
understand.
of the five, I would say the three are usually, regularly used,
Right.
and I don't mind collecting even more. you know.
True. So, of course, like there's always room for one more pair of gloves, isn't it?
Correct.
Absolutely.
So with if you say gloves, I'm always a little bit sensitive because I have bought so many gloves. I can recollect each and every purchase that I have bought, and
Oh wow.
I have miserably suffered by buying wrong set of gloves, something which don't fit me well, some things which are not, which were not needed. I've ended up buying something which, was never used. So last few years, I've done my homework, I've done my study. Now I know exactly what I am looking for, and if I find a good pair of glove, I usually manage to keep it for a reasonably long time
Right.
till I find another glove which is at same or even better.
Better. Right. Yeah, I mean it's like a process. Like we ride more, we understand more, and then that's
Correct.
where the upgrading procedure starts. And
Correct.
every glove, I would say, would you? I mean, is it right to say that every glove has a life?
Yes and no. Yes, in terms of wear and tear, you will have your wear and tear. No, in terms of it depends on how you are using the glove. If you are taking the right care, good pair of leather gloves could easily last for 4 5 years or even more.
Okay.
So it actually depends on how you're using it and whether you had any falls or or any accident or something like that, or you managed to damage them. So
Right.
I've seen riders using torn pair of gloves also because they just so used to them, and
True.
then
I know.
they're like कि, okay एक छोटा हो गया चलता है
चलता है.
चलता है. But I really like these gloves, and I'm not, probably they don't is similar to me, that they've not found something better.
Right. I know it happens.
So I would say yes, good pair of gloves could last long, but then there are also gloves which you will have its life. It would depend on so many factors. So
True. True. So, Katie-san, what do you say that what is the sole purpose of a glove?
I would say two purposes. One is protection against any sort of accident, so that
Right.
is safety, accident, and then safety against impact. So you're riding and you go and bang something, a tree, a pole, or another vehicle, and there's an impact on your hand. So protection against impact, and other could be you fall down and you're sliding down the road or off road, and
Right.
there's an abrasion. So if you're not wearing anything, you can get your skin easily scraped off.
Scraped
So
off.
there's protection against abrasion. And the other, gloves predominantly started for protection against weather. So
Right.
if you're riding in, depending on cold weather or early mornings on monsoon, so two things: protection against accidents and weather.
Right. Absolutely. Katie-san, what was your history like? When was the first pair of gloves you bought?
I bought my first pair of gloves pretty later after I started motorcycling actually. Like I said in my last podcast, nobody was there to guide us that you actually need something. And my father, although used to have one pair of glove, which I think he used almost all throughout his life.
Oh wow.
So those were basic leather gloves with no real protection,
Protection.
just the thin ones. I think he probably bought it somewhere and and managed to use it forever. But nothing great. My first pair of gloves were nothing great really, nothing to be mentioned of. So
But yeah, that's where it all started, right?
that's why
Then the upgradation
I
process.
saw again. I saw some other riders wearing some gloves, nice gloves, and they were really comfortable. We were going out for some night ride, and it was pretty cold.
Right.
And this guy was riding very comfortably, and my hands were like bone chilled to the bone, and I couldn't feel them later on after some point of time. That's when I felt, yeah, I need at least something. So that's when the
I know it
glove,
gets.
need for the glove.
Absolutely. That I think once we understand the need for it, then and once you start wearing it,
Correct.
then that's where I would say the uh, I've lost words for it. That's where the need starts, I would say, right? So, what is the biggest misconception you've heard of when it comes to motorcycle gloves?
Biggest misconception, I would say not one. There are many of them. One is a lot of riders come to me and say, hard chahiye, knuckles, or hard is better. And I think this is where they go wrong, that especially if you consider in terms of impact. Today, there are so many modern day materials available where softer materials are able to take impact much more than the traditional
Right.
hard material. So I
True.
think this is one misconception. Not that hard are inferior to softer, but it's not necessary that hard will always be better. In fact, sometimes it is. If you compare in terms of impact protection, if you take back protectors today, earlier days we used to have basic plain foam back protectors. Then
True.
came memory foams, then viscoelastic foams, and now you have things like D3O and Nox and Sastec,
Absolutely.
which change during the impact. So those are soft materials and they protect much better than the harder ones.
Absolutely.
So that is one misconception. The other misconception is that one glove will do everything. So
That is one
that
big
that is I
misconception.
think that is I think one disaster what most of the riders
Right,
do.
right, right. I would totally agree with that. That like people still don't understand that the variations of gloves are for a reason.
Correct.
Like manufacturers have put in so much effort in
Correct.
segregating gloves, and it is for a reason.
Correct.
Like then, and I'm sure we will talk about this in the podcast
Yeah.
all along, and
We should.
Yeah, we should, because there is a lot of gray area that needs to be covered, I feel, today. And my next question to you would be: do you feel that gloves are compromised, like in terms of when you're buying riding gear? Do you think that that is an area, gloves are an area that we don't really take too seriously when you're starting motorcycling?
To some extent, yes. I mean, the first choice for most of the riders is they go and pick up and buy a helmet.
Right, right, absolutely.
Then there's jacket, and then the rest of the things follow. And I think the mistake what they do is giving priority to one part of the body. No,
True.
but I think any gear should have the same priority. So irrespective
Right,
of it's
right,
gloves
absolutely.
or riding boots or pants or helmet, I think they all should come with the same priority. And I think this is where people say कि हाँ ठीक है helmet है jacket है I don't really need gloves. But your hands are very important part of your body, and
Absolutely.
if let's imagine that I don't have my 10 fingers.
Your palms are very important, they're very precious.
You imagine the kind of things what we usually do with our fingers. So if something is bound to happen to them, unfortunately, you're going to lose your precious. So it is as important as your head or any other
Absolutely.
part of the body.
Yeah, because I did that mistake when I started motorcycling about 5 years back. I didn't really pay a lot of attention towards gloves. I bought the cheapest one on the market back then, and it was a textile glove. But yeah, my own first and only crash that I had, That's when I realized the importance for gloves, and from that day onwards till today, I've worn leathers, and I'm never going back to textiles ever again. But again, so what are the four? I would not say four, but what are the main factors that one needs to consider while going and purchasing a glove?
There are four, in fact. So there are more, but I would say the four what you are thinking of are the most common. To me, uh, I have small hands, so to me, the fit is the most important
True,
factor.
absolutely.
So you can have a glove which has got the highest level of protection and best of the materials, most expensive, but if it's not fitting you, it's of no use. It will not protect you properly, or you might not even wear it because it's not comfortable. So fit is important. Second thing would be safety, so level of protection, what kind of glove,
Right.
it's and whether it is doing its designated job or not. Third is ergonomics, very important part. It has to be comfortable. uh, a good example I would do is, let's say you need good protection, okay, and you buy a glove which is made up of an iron, like you are an iron man. Just imagine. So although it would protect you well, but it wouldn't be really practical or ergonomic.
Yes.
So if you're wearing something which is too much into, too good into good fit, good protection, but not good in comfort, then it doesn't make sense. It has
True.
to be a comfortable and practical glove.
Absolutely.
Again, it depends on what purpose you are using the glove for. So it's not like you buy a glove which is suited for track, for racing, and then you start say that now I'm using it for daily
Daily
commute,
commute.
and sorry, my palms are sweating, so this is not a comfortable glove. It's You are using a wrong glove for wrong purpose. So
Absolutely. And it need not be that a glove that's fitting you comfortably fit me comfortably.
correct. So I mean, there are riders whom I've seen, they are always fully clothed,
Absolutely.
fully covered, all the gear at all the time, at get works for them, and they're comfortable even on the hottest of the days. They're wearing full
Absolutely.
gauntlets, and there's nothing wrong. They have somehow managed to make themselves,
Comfortable
comfortable with those
in
gloves. So
those
it's up
gloves.
to them. The level of comfort would be different for different people. So
Right.
you choose what suits you best,
What fits you best.
fits you best, and what kind of protection you want, and finally it has to fit into your price bracket. So
True.
you might want to buy a glove which is good in terms of protection, good fit, but could be way above your price,
Price bracket.
and
Yeah.
normally I would say good gears are expensive. So either you buy something intermediate and then plan for the upgrade eventually, like how you upgrade your bikes. You start from a lower category and then you upgrade. So the gear, it works something similar.
True.
Or you wait, you save, don't spend on unnecessary stuff, and
Yeah.
then buy the best possible you can
Absolutely.
afford.
And I feel that's worth it as well. I mean, you're getting the best protection from that brand in terms of what their technology is. So I feel that is also a good way to go around it.
Correct, correct.
But again, like someone starting motorcycling,
Mm-hmm.
it is very important, I feel, that you understand what gloves are and what is the sole purpose of them, because
Correct.
a lot of them say हाँ ठीक है यार, because once you buy a jacket, once you buy your helmet, they're like हाँ ठीक है, gloves है कोई भी दे दो.
हाँ मैं
I've seen
हमने
that happen. It's happened with me as well. So that is a very
correct.
big problem where I hope someday people understand that boss, your palms are important.
What I've seen is people buy helmets, so they've spent the maximum amount in the helmet and then the jacket, and then they're like, yeah, I have probably very little money now
Exactly.
remaining for the pants, boots, and gloves, and then they start cutting corners. So I think any rider who is planning for a gear, they should plan for the budget as soon as they have planned for the bike. So if they're purchasing a bike today for 2 lakhs, they should at least plan additional 10-15% minimum. That's very bare minimum. I would say 20-25 would be a good figure, depending on what bike
True.
you are buying. So and that has to be factored in when they are buying a motorcycle.
Right. That should
So,
that
should be considered as part of ownership
true.
costs.
True.
So it doesn't mean that it's like you go out to play any sport. So you say that I will go and now tomorrow play in Wankhede Stadium and I am going to play in India A
Right.
group, but you are not having the basic gear. So and you can say that I have already spent my stuff.
पैसा दे दिया अभी मेरे पास पैसा है नहीं.
So it doesn't make sense, It is
Right.
same for riding gear.
Absolutely. I strongly feel that whatever budget you've planned for your motorcycle, you should take at least, for me, it's that 20% over that has to be incorporated in that cost.
Correct. So, I tell a lot of young guys who come to me and ask me what motorcycle I should come and घर पे बताना है कि कितना खर्चा होगा. So I tell them that plan at least 40-50K more because you will end up buying gear. You need it, and then you will also end up buying some accessories and stuff which you will need for your motorcycle.
True.
So this is all gear also becomes part of the ownership cost.
Absolutely. That is a price that should be incorporated.
And that is something which
today.
most of the buyers miss. That
Yes.
so they buy a motorcycle, they are already paying a huge EMI, and then they say अभी gear लेने के लिए पैसा नहीं, अभी I will wait for 3 months, and that is where compromise starts happening.
Absolutely.
So I mean, when you buy a motorcycle, you do all your research. You
Right.
choose the best one, what suits you. So you can do the same for gear, and it's very easy these days. Most of the gear prices are available online, and you can budget it very easily.
Absolutely.
No rocket science
And
behind.
things have become a lot more approachable, and you have a variety of gloves that you
You
can
just go to a store and ask them that I would like to buy a gear, and they will
Yes, and they
come
have-
up with tens of options.
Absolutely, and like today, people are so fortunate that you have an array of gloves, and not only gloves, an array of gear and brands that have come into India officially after seeing the demand that we want. It's astonishing to see today. Like say 5 years back, still like but brands were coming in,
Correct.
and today it's. You go to the market and everything is there. It's just insane to see how much the market's grown in 4
You're
years.
spoiled for choices. Today.
Absolutely. Today we're spoiled for choice. Back then we weren't.
Correct.
So, Katie-san, what are the materials that they use generally in making gloves?
Typically, gloves are of leather. So most common material is goat leather. You would see it in almost all brands. But you also get some other. Sometimes there's other material like sheepskin is used. Bits and pieces of cowhide is used. There's something called as kangaroo leather also,
Right.
which is supposed to be better than goat leather in terms of abrasion and life. You also have gloves from stingray leather. So there are few brands which manufacture stingray leather, and apparently the life of the leather is much higher than a typical goat leather. So there are a lot of different types of leather. Then there are man-made leathers,
Right.
artificially synthetically created leathers, which have similar kind of properties like leathers. You could also have engineered leathers which give you specific properties like they will not get too hot. And apart from leathers, there are fabrics. A lot of fabrics are used today in gloves in conjunction with leathers or a full fabric glove. Like the waterproof gloves what you see here is made up
Right.
of completely fabric. So most common materials, like I said, is goat leather.
True. Stingray leather is something that I have heard for the first time. And are these complete palms made of stingray or
So
what
it
sort of-
would depend on which brand, and normally such exotic leathers are not used in the full glove. They will always be used in critical areas which
Right.
will be prone to impact and abrasion. Typically on the palm area or knuckles, or
knuckles.
the fingers, and it would also depend on what kind of glove it is. So there are special gloves which are used for extreme cold weather, and there you could have leather plus fabric plus something sandwich in between to get
Right.
the final desired effect. So it depends from manufacturer to manufacturer. There's no specific standard that you have to use one type of leather.
Leather
You could also
for
use a
everything.
mix. Goat leather and a kangaroo palm is also pretty common.
Right.
Uh,
It's
so
it's it's widely nowadays. Kangaroo. We're fortunate that we have kangaroo leather that is so affordable. I would say because it's if you see in the international markets, kangaroo leather isn't the most affordable material.
correct. So what has happened in the past years is the population of kangaroos have gone up significantly, and then there's a systematic way on how the animals are culled. And there's a certain act in Australia with a certain number. They try and control the population of these animals, and so
Right.
whatever the animals are culled are these items are used for leathers and not just motorcycling gloves, but kangaroo leather is also used in other sports like soccer and rugby, predominantly
Absolutely.
because of its
High
long.
abrasion resistance
Yeah, so
level.
apparently one difference I got to know is goat or cowhide has got a lot of pores because the animal sweats all throughout
Right.
the skin,
True.
and kangaroos they sweat only through their tail, so they have less pores in the skin, and the leather is much lighter and has got much more strength than a normal goat
Goat
leather.
leather.
If you compare, abrasion resistance could be 4 to 5 times normal
Oh.
goat leather. And if you say stingray, I use the term exotic leathers for all such things. Stingray is about again 4 to 5 times of a kangaroo
Kangaroo
leather.
leather.
So depending on of course stingray is not a very common leather. So naturally, if you go for a stingray leather glove, it could be pretty expensive.
Absolutely.
But then such gloves are usually very special or a specific purpose glove,
Yes.
high end.
Yeah, not
So
something that you could not something that you would find it
it's
easily
not an
in.
off the shelf
True.
available glove. It's usually special purpose, usually for extreme conditions, either
Right.
motorsports or extreme cold weathers. So
Absolutely. So, Katie-san, my next question was going to you is can somebody use a leather glove in rain?
yes and no. Yes, you can use. It's your choice. You can wear glove
Yeah,
in
it's
rain, in
absolutely
summers, in winters, all possible. Goddamn, seasons you can. What is not acceptable is the life will get compromised. Now, leather is naturally water resistant, to be very frank, but the way the leather gloves are stitched and way the leather is there is normally the glove has some ventilation provided to it so that air moves in and you don't sweat so much. So in case of if you are using them in rains, obviously the water is going to seep in and it's not going to make you comfortable. Also, the pigment what's there in the leather, the oil also kind of dries out, so leather
okay.
loses its moisture and it starts becoming hard.
Yes, yes,
And then once it starts becoming hard, it starts cracking out.
true.
So unless you are taking care of your leathers, you are reconditioning them with suitable leather oils, leather conditioning, waxes. I wouldn't say that you can use a leather glove in monsoons. Rather than there is a better option available where you have specific monsoon, designed gloves which are not made of leathers. They are usually of fabrics, and those gloves can be very comfortably used in rains without damaging the gloves. So
Right.
there is a better alternative available in the market, and it's pretty common these days. So
True.
I always advise people that don't spoil your usual leather gloves.
Leathers.
Keep it aside for 3-4 months, and you can always have one other pair of glove which does a special job. And these waterproof gloves also are designed in a special way where it will stop the water going in. The way they are stitched are different. There are less number of seams, so
Right.
less chances of water going in.
And there are more
uh,
liners on the
there are liners
inside.
inside. There's some sort of a thermal insulation, so your hands don't get cold.
Cold.
They are warm and dry. And nowadays you also get materials which are breathable and waterproof, so you have some sort of ventilation,
Right.
not something compared to mesh, but definitely some sort of materials. A good example is Gore-Tex.
Right.
Shima also has got their own extra membrane which is waterproof and breathable, and a lot of manufacturers have their own stuff. So
Right.
these gloves are dedicatedly designed for riders to ride in rain, and they do the same job of protection,
Right.
plus keeping your hands
Hands,
dry.
yes, they do one extra job for you.
Correct. Plus keeping your hands dry, you could get some additional features like you could have a screen cleaner, or the palm could have an additional grip, patch. So
Yes,
you're
I
not
have seen them in a lot of Shima gloves.
your hands don't slip once the handlebars are wet. So is I still recommend to use these gloves than using your regular
Right.
leather gloves. And the off the shelf, I would say standard leather gloves. Not all of the glove is made from one type of leather. So there is the critical part which uses the premium grade leather, which has got good life, and then there are some non-critical parts where manufacturers usually put the standard leather purely from terms of economics.
Absolutely.
So there is a chance that you were spoiling, the weakest part could get damaged fast, and you will end up spoiling your glove.
Yes. The more abrasive part would be safe, but
Correct.
the other parts of a glove would get damaged a lot before.
Correct. So
Yeah, that's, I think, yeah, that's
yeah.
where it all
So
starts.
I need to go back to your question. What?
Could you use
So
gloves,
the answer
leather gloves?
is you can, but you shouldn't.
Yes. Katie-san, what are the different types of gloves that we get in the market?
Or you could classify or differentiate them in from either from the sizing. So you have the full gauntlets where the length is maximum, and there's
Yeah,
a reasonable long cuff
like the
which
VRS2
covers
or
your
the
sleeve.
STR2.
Then there's the shorties where the cuff is not there, and these are usually used for small rides or city rides where they're easy to wear and take off. And then there's something also called as intermediate, so semi gauntlets, where it gets you the best of both the worlds. Obviously there is some compromise
Right.
in terms of safety and comfort, how you use it. It depends purely where you're using it. The other differentiation could be in terms of the material. So like I said, goat leather or kangaroo leather or fabric. You also get gloves these days which are purely of textiles. There's no leather in it, or textile in combination with leather, or textile in combination with the artificial synthetic leathers.
Leather.
This is the second way of classifying. And third could be from the purpose. So you have gloves made for a particular purpose. So let's say for track, you have the racing gloves. For commute, you will have mesh gloves which will have more ventilation.
Right.
For rains, we discussed, we have waterproof gloves.
Waterproof gloves.
For off-road or trails, you will have the short or
Shorties, yes.
semi gauntlet gloves, or the most of the people call them ADV gloves also. Then there could be touring gloves which will have little bit longer length, so the gloves are arresting the winds and your hands are not getting too cold.
Yes.
They could be also be different in terms of fit. Like a track glove would be absolutely super
Snug.
tight, snug fit. A touring glove could be little easy. We could have classic leather gloves to go with retro bikes,
Right.
and they could be a little bit lesser in terms of protection, but more in terms of the classic leather look,
The style.
style. So there are a lot of gloves available in the market. Most of the buyers will be spoiled for choices, but you can
Yes.
easily pick up 2 or 3 pairs of gloves which would do majority of your riding part.
Absolutely. So, Katie-san, as we spoke about gloves, we said that they're made of leather or they're made of textile. There are some parts of gloves that are made of special materials. Why don't we tell the audience about those?
Correct. So Nowadays, gloves have evolved in terms of materials, and manufacturers are exploiting not just natural materials but also artificial materials. They called as engineered materials. And a good examples could be use of carbon fibers in knuckles to give them
Yes.
additional strength. Uh, Super fabric here, like you see here in Shima glove, which is like you cannot
It's
cut,
indestructible, yeah.
you cannot cut it, you cannot it's an abrasion proof glove. It has got abrasion about 8 to 10 times of a normal
Right.
leather. It doesn't burn, it's waterproof and so on. Then there are special materials which take care of high impact shocks. So something like D3O or Knox, they are making specific knuckles and foam pads which go inside the glove in critical areas where there could, in areas where there are, the glove manufacturers call them as impact zones. So below the knuckles or on the palm or on the sides of the fingers, or on the cuff. So there, these are not your normal, materials which would compress in case of impact. They in fact become harder. In more the impact, more harder they would get, and they would resist the shock being transmitted to body. So there are a lot of materials like these, and a good example, like I said, is D3O. There's Poron XRD, which is similar to D3O, which is
Right.
also super fabric. I've already said there's a lot of gloves are lined with Kevlar,
Yes, yes.
so to give it more strength. There's also something called as Aramid, which is fireproof. The glove will not burn in case of you catching a
Catching
fire.
fire. Yes, you've seen it on most of MotoGP riders.
Correct. So
having
they don't
that.
catch fire. The
Yes,
bike catches
exactly.
fire, but they are usually pretty cool. They just walk away, and somebody will just come and
Spray them down with the fire extinguisher.
So,
Right.
but I think they practically don't feel anything inside. And then there are also a lot of other materials like the linings. There's cool fabrics which you keep your hands with a stable temperature. You don't sweat, or bacteria free, which will not get into some sort of infections, or even the glove will not get some sort of mold or fungus on it. So lot of things are coming up today. Every manufacturer has got their own R&D wing which does these things, and then there are special manufacturers who, like D3O, who go further level up, and they tie up with manufacturers to develop special designs or materials for a specific purpose.
Right. I've read about them.
So such gloves are usually slightly expensive than the normal ones, but then they provide a lot of additional features at a small price,
Premium. Right.
premium price. So
As we said before, good gear is a little pricey.
little expensive, yes.
Yeah.
So
But I guess I mean it's the premium that we pay for is protection and comfort. So motorcycling is an expensive lifestyle, and we all know we're 90% of the time broke. Yeah.
all the riders should stop talking about money, because once they decide that they are going to buy a motorcycle or be a motorcyclist, they are going to end up spending money for all right reasons, I would say. And there's nothing wrong
You
in
can
being,
never be-
spending little
yes.
bit more to get more safer, more comfortable.
Absolutely. Spending more to be safe is not wrong at all, because
not wrong at all.
yeah, because putting in money into riding gear is better than being immobilized in the future.
I can tell you one thing of luck. I have not faced so many falls in my motorcycling career till now. But the one or two small accidents that I have had, I still experience some sort of pain in those areas where I have had taken hits, and uh, I think it's easier to protect your body than it's not like a machine that you change a part and it's back to normal.
Absolutely.
I've seen riders who've broken their bones, and although they have recovered back, but they're not like really back to 100%
100%, yes.
normal. They could be 90, 95%. And then there are guys who have absolutely stopped motorcycling after.
One crash.
and people have ended up spending tons of money on the treatment, not just for accidents or fractures, or somebody's having a back issue or a tailbone issue, or even the
Elbows and shoulders.
elbows injured. So there's so many things. So it's better that you do as much as you can, and luck also be along with you.
Absolutely. That
So
it plays a small part.
yeah. But the other, 0.01%, I would say luck. The rest 99.99 is in your hands. So,
True. That
so
is
that
completely.
thing you can control. And,
Yes, you can protect yourself. You can't control something from happening, but you can protect yourself by upgrading to the best possible gear you can afford at that standpoint.
correct.
So, Katie-san, why don't we tell the audience of what is the buffet of gloves that we have today?
At Gear and Throttle House, we keep two brands of gloves. One is Shima, which is from Poland, and other is for Racer. Racer is from France. It's a very old company, predominantly in making gloves for last 90 years.
Whoa.
And they know their stuff very well, because
Oh,
they've been
yes,
doing
absolutely.
this from last 90 years. So we have gloves starting from basic gloves starting from 3,500, and they could go as high up to 13 and a half or even more than that. We have gloves which are good for city rides, so something like the Roka, what you see here. This is the Roka 2, which comes with the D3O
Protectors,
knuckles, and this is a fabric glove with an artificially created leather called as Clarino. It's a Japanese brand. So man-made leather, as a lot of people term it. And
Right.
these are predominantly actually off-road gloves, what Racer claims to be at, but you can use them for small daily commute, short rides, and highly breathable, easy to wear, easy to take off. The fit is amazing, and this starts at a very as low as 3,500.
3,500. Right.
Then you could go up uh, on a slightly more protected glove. This is the Ronin. Ronin is an ADV glove. So most of the ADV gloves will have a leather palm and mesh or a fabric
upper.
top.
Right.
So ADV riders, it is considered that 70% is tarmac and 30% is off-road. So even the gear is designed in similar way. And they will usually have semi-gauntlet gloves, where if they go on off-road, then they need some sort of freedom while riding.
Flexibility.
The flexibility in the wrist has to be there. So you have lots of leather. Instead of fabric, you will have leather here. And you will have lots of mesh also, which will take care of ventilation in case you are going
Right.
off-road or something like that. You could buy these semi-gauntlets. We have bucket of semi-gauntlet options starting from 4.5K up
Right.
to 5-6K. Then you have your run-of-the-mill full gauntlets, gloves,
Wow,
which
the babies.
start from 5K onwards. You have different options. You have for touring, you have some sports touring,
Yes.
you have track racing.
And
So the STR2
STR2.
is a very common fast moving glove at GT House. We also have the Shima RS2, which is a track specific glove.
Right.
And then we have the VRS2, which is a kangaroo leather glove with aramid lining and super fabric, like I said, man-made
Oh, this is
engineered material. So glove providing the best of the protection. So this goes for 13 and a half. I like this glove. This is the Shima XRS2, which is a semi-gauntlet kangaroo leather glove with super fabric protection.
I feel the XRS2 is literally the VRS2 minus the cuff.
Yeah, so as the abbreviation suggests, RS is race spec.
Right.
So we have the XRS2, which is the shortest, this is the semi-gauntlet glove. Then there is the RS2,
RS2.
and then there is the VRS2, which is like the top of the line, the FX
Flagship.
glove from Shima. and something like XRS2 kangaroo leather glove with all these high-end engineered materials for protection is available for 7K. I think it is
Absolutely.
it's pretty affordable. It's not too expensive. It's not too less. I mean, somebody who wants it can plan such things very easily. Then there are specific gloves like the Inverno and the Touring Dry. These are dedicated waterproof and winter gloves, and they start as low as 4,000 onwards. So I would say you have spoiled for a lot of options at GT House. We have about 22 types of different types of gloves,
Oh my god.
and we plan to introduce some more.
Wow.
So you have gloves for all types, for commutes, for touring, for track, for ADV, for off roads, for even for day to day,
Right. So basically, you'd say you have a glove for every purpose
every purpose. So
that the man wants.
so idea was to like I said, I wanted the customers to have special gloves for special purposes, and not buy one glove that does all.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and yes, the array is massive. I mean, yeah, we see one, two, three, four, five, six, six
Yeah, so
gloves.
somebody who's keen to know more could go easily on the website www.GT House.
Yes,
GThouse.shop and look for it. Or they could even call us, call on the.
Absolutely. And yes, they would, and yes, you would get information from the man himself. He's got a lot of information up here.
Correct. So there are a lot of customers actually call and ask for guidance, what kind of gloves,
Yes.
and I think it's good that they are calling, because at least I am able to clear some sort of doubts and clarify them what purpose the glove is for. Sometimes the descriptions might not clarify things exactly.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah, I remember seeing a couple DMs last week. Why don't you tell us about some
So
situations?
the most common glove is that I need one glove which I want to do city riding, and it should be also possible to do touring, and if they are waterproof then it would be great. So that is where things go wrong when you there are all season gloves available. It's
Right.
not like it's not available, but you actually, when you buy all season gear, you actually end up compromising somewhere in terms of protections, or somewhere in terms of comfort, or ergonomics. So example I gave was the Ironman.
Yeah, Ironman reference, yes.
You can have the best protection but not comfort.
Comfort.
And or you wear a fabric glove which could have best ventilation, best comfort, but no protection. So and then you have all season glove which will not give you the best possible ventilation. It will neither be 100% waterproof, it could be water resistant, or it could be waterproof material, but the ventilation would not be much. So if for a place like India, where we are staying in a tropical country, climate, and most of the places moisture, humidity is high, or even the weather is dry, you end up sweating a lot. So
True.
I would say majority of times we need glove which needs to have decent ventilation
True.
and decent protection. Reason, India is a strange country. You have all sorts of things
And you have
coming on.
extreme climates.
Extreme climates. So you can have your multiple set of gloves. It's okay, you can start with one glove first and then plan the
Upgrade.
second or third glove, or an additional glove later on. You need not buy everything together. It depends on what you. But it's like you will not wear your office clothes to go to some social function,
No,
or you will not
absolutely
go in your night dress to your office, right?
True.
Neither you will wear the same set of clothes what you wear in summer for winter,
Winter.
right?
Oh boy.
So how can you have one set of gear that works every time?
That's
You can wear summer clothes in winter. Nobody's stopping you, but you would just end up
freezing
being
your hand.
freezing cold. So it's again all matter of what what's acceptable to you, what's not
Yeah.
acceptable, and what you need. So there's nothing wrong. Like I said, I have multiple pairs of gloves. If I'm riding, I carry at least 2 pairs of gloves. One pair is always in my tank bag or easily
Right.
accessible somewhere where I can just stop and change them. So I will have the full gauntlets if I'm starting early morning. I don't want to get my hands cold, and I will use it on the highway as long as I'm riding at high speeds. But moment I am reaching my destination and I have touched the city, I know the speeds are going to be slow. I just take the full gauntlets off and go to semi
Swap
gauntlets.
the set to the semis.
Or even in between the afternoons when the sun is straight up high on my, for some period of time I want
Some comfort and
some comfort. So
ventilation.
then I know the safety levels might not be much, but that is the period where I feel like for half an hour I want to use my other pair of gloves and then shift back to the full gauntlet. So again, it depends on what you are comfortable with. And
True. That as we said that a glove that is perfect for you would not be perfect for
perfect
me.
for correct.
It's like it's different. It's every person's taste and every person's comfort levels would be different. So that is very important to match. And when people come and say यार उसने वो glove लिया था मेरे को वो चाहिए.
Correct. That shouldn't be the benchmark. I suggest all the riders that you go out, check the gloves,
Exactly.
wear them for at least for 5 minutes. See how your fingers and hands are flexing. Check the fit. Try stretching. Fingers. Try. Imagining that you are on a handlebar and how your fingers would move, so that they should try out. If people are buying online, which is pretty common, make sure that the gloves are interchangeable in case the size they order is wrong, because there's no standard size for gloves.
Exactly.
It varies from manufacturer to manufacturer and model to model.
Right.
So a touring glove might not fit exactly same as track
Track
racing
oriented
glove.
gloves.
Yeah, so you buy an M of touring glove, that doesn't mean the M of the track glove would exactly fit the same.
Absolutely.
The fit
It's
could be different and could be different from manufacturer to manufacturer. So make sure if you're buying something gloves on online, the gloves are interchangeable. Which is why at GT House we usually provide a size chart and ask people to measure their palms and order according to the size. And if by any chance they end up ordering a wrong fitting glove, we provide them an exchange,
No,
so
that's
that
wonderful.
they get a right size, because there's no point in you buying a glove which does not fit. You would simply not use the glove eventually.
Exactly. I mean,
It will
it's
just
uncomfortable, and sometimes if it's too large, it's pointless because it's going to hurt you any which ways. So all
correct.
of these factors need to be sorted out. And I mean, I'd say that you get the right glove is very important for every person who's a rider today.
Correct.
So, Katie-san, what do you feel about? I mean, the technology in gloves has skyrocketed over the past 10 years. I feel. Would you
It
agree?
has, yes, it has. It has in terms of, I would say the first, the protection is much better.
Yes.
Uh, Manufacturers are able to make gloves with higher safety ratings, but without compromising the comfort level. So
True.
with use of thinner, lighter materials, they are able to get higher levels of protection. And materials, engineered materials like Superfabric, D3O, Poron XRD, the gloves are more safer, at the same time more comfortable also. So you're not wearing those heavy bulky gloves which are I remember I had bought a pair of winter gloves. There was nothing wrong with the gloves were absolutely fine, but I simply couldn't get used to those gloves. They were so thick. When I first took it out on my ride up in mountains, I couldn't feel the handlebar at all.
Oh my God.
I couldn't feel the levers at all, and after half an hour I just took them off and I never wore them again in my life.
Oh my God.
So, and I think after 3 or 4 years, I found them and they were like rock solid straight, because I never used them. So that was money down the drain for no reason.
Yes.
For no reason, and it was my mistake that I bought wrong
True.
set of gloves. So nothing wrong with the gloves. It's very important that these modern day gloves, the evolution has gone in the right direction. And with these artificial engineered materials, so there have been lot of developments in these areas where they are able to make it much better.
True.
Even in terms of fit, because the manufacturing processes have improved, so we are just able to get better gloves at a much economical price as compared
True.
to before. So
Absolutely, and I feel that the demand also has given a rise for the variety of gloves to come out.
correct,
Like previously, the variety was there, but it was still very limited. And today, with riders going in and giving in more feedback to manufacturers,
correct.
their variety has
It's getting
increased.
better. So, 10 years back, the gloves never had mobile touch tips because
Exactly.
there were not so many mobiles
True.
those days. But nowadays, it's like a standard feature on
Exactly.
most of the gloves.
You need it
Yeah,
because
so-
when you're riding and you want to change something on the map, it's very difficult to get your gloves off and go back.
Correct.
So
And then there are certain places where I see even the fastening systems have got better. You have 2 or 3 types of fastening system
True.
in a one glove where the glove really fits securely instead of standard one single cuff which used to come in olden days. So I think gloves have come a far
they've come a long way.
Yeah, they've come a long way and they're just getting better.
Absolutely. So what do you think is the future of gloves now, from this standpoint?
I don't know. I don't know what's the future, but definitely maybe you get gloves which automatically sizes your hands and
Yeah, like
fits.
a lot of helmets that have
So
those.
you
Yeah,
wear a glove and it just shrinks and something futuristic. I don't know. It's possible.
possible. Yeah, absolutely.
So of a material, but I've seen gloves there which which are. I saw a glove with Racer that they have a glove which is a heated glove.
Oh, wow.
And they use it because they have pretty cold weather.
True.
And you're not connected with any sorts of wires or anything. The gloves have the battery, small lithium battery inside them, and you can
Okay.
adjust the temperature to low, medium, high, and you wear them out in cold winters, and you can ride them without any issues. So this was something new for me. I had seen heated grips, but heated gloves was
Yes,
something
the first time I'm hearing this.
was new for me. And also I've seen gloves doing using really special material like this waterproof and breathable stuff like Gore-Tex or Nextri. These are also getting better. In earlier days, I've seen they used to be very thick and heavy materials,
Right.
but now they seem to get being focusing on getting materials which are lighter and more breathable.
Right.
So even and this glove, for example, so this is a Clarino leather, a Japanese brand which makes artificial man-made leathers. So they claim that it's a vegan
Leather.
leather. No animals are being killed for getting this leather, and they claim that the life of this leather is as good as a normal
Normal leather.
leather.
Okay.
And they're able to get much more better characteristics from this glove, that with sweat it will not crack, or it will not wear off faster. And one of the gloves I saw that there was something called as cool fabric, and you wear the glove and you really feel the hands are
Oh,
like
wow.
cold for some time, and it maintains, and it's there like that. So
Oh, really?
it's there like that. So these things will come in future. So there, if you see, it's the gloves are not just developing in terms of safety, but they're
Also
also
developing in terms of comfort,
comfort.
which is very important.
So
Yeah, like simple things like waterproof gloves. I remember back about 2-3 years back, if you would wear one and you sweat inside, right? And eventually, when you get the glove out, the liner used to come out with the glove, which used to get super annoying to put back in, and putting your hand in is a task and a half.
Correct.
So these gloves nowadays, especially the Inverno, like you remove it and the liner is stitched inside, so
Stitched
it's
there.
not going anywhere.
yeah, these are all, I think, results of better
R&D,
R&D,
rider
technology, rider feedback, a lot of things. So you should be able to get to see much more variety of gloves, and as a rider, I think you should spend some time in researching what types of gloves
Very
are
important.
available and what possible options, rather than just going to the standard run of the mill gloves.
Exactly.
Just go and on Google, almost all information is available.
You have everything on Google today. I feel every rider should, before going and buying, he should go in and do a little bit of research, not only in terms of gloves but everything, because what we know is 1%, and what is out there you still have 99% which you've never heard of. So these things you need to go, and riders today, of course, with the Western influence and MotoGP and WSBK and all of these things, people know of brands, but still people do not know of the kind of technology that's available today. Maybe maybe say 50% of it isn't available in India,
Possible. It's
but
possible.
we could, like, if there is a demand for it, I am sure.
Yes. So as importers, we also keep searching for better better stuff, better products, better
Right.
gloves. Not just not just with the existing brands what we do, but also looking for new brands, and if they have something better or different or which could cater to a new category, new segment of motorcycling. So that is something which we also keep looking.
Absolutely.
And the idea is to give buyers as much choice as possible.
Spoil them for choice, rather.
Not spoil, I would say spoil them, but there should be a glove available for every
Purpose. True.
So you have in helmets, if you go to any shop, the type of helmets that any shopkeeper keeps are easily more than 50. Then why not with gloves? Why not
Absolutely.
with other
Riding gear.
So
Like, you should get
so
a variety.
huh,
Absolutely.
so it's exactly a similar funda.
True. Oh boy, this has been fun. And I think on that note, we should wrap up this episode of the GT
Yes.
House podcast. Katie-san, thank you so much for being our guru and giving us so much information, because I'm sure the audience has loved it today.
I'm sure there's much more than what I know. There are but this is all the result of my experience, my research, and
Absolutely.
these are purely my thoughts. I could be probably some people might not agree with my views, which is fine. But bottom line, there are better stuff available in market. There are a lot of options available in market. Buyers should look for
Options.
these options. And again, one glove
For
for
every
all
doesn't
will
work.
not work.
The bottom line that needs to be put into everyone's head कि भाई एक चीज
not
सबके लिए नहीं चलने वाला तुम लोगों के लिए.
At least it doesn't work for me. If somebody is able to manage it,
Props to the person.
Yeah.
Seriously. Well, thank you so much, Katie-san. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the GT House podcast. If you're listening to us, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, any major streaming platform. And if you're viewing us, you are already doing that on YouTube. So here's Glenn Turn. That's Katie-san signing out. Until next time, cheers.
Bye.